Hi friends, it's Daryl, and I'm here today in Orion Township on Scripps Road in the Bald Mtn recreation area. Probably one of the things Scripps Road is most famous for is the Scripps estate, the former mansion up the road that's now known as the guest house. It's a beautiful, beautiful natural beauty road. I mean, there's little lakes and ponds and swamps along it, some giant old trees. It's just lovely back in here. And you do need a recreational passport to park here and enjoy the, benefits of the Bald Mtn recreation area. And I always get that for my vehicles, so I can stop at any state park or facility in my journeys. And one of the other things you notice is people who lived in Lake Orion or, been around Orion or get into the haunted ghost stories at all, is that Scripps Road is frequently mentioned as a haunted location where people allegedly see or feel things as they're walking along the road. It seems like most people tend to associate that with the old Scripps mansion. But in fact, there's another reason right back here where some of the legends and stories might originate. Back in the late 1800s, this property here about a half a mile south, this property here about a half a mile east of Joslin Road used to be a large farm. You can see on the plat map here, it was the Berridge farm, and they had property on both sides of Scripps Road, father and son. They also had some more property back over to the south by Eames Station. And like many old farms back in the day, people were buried here. There was actually a cemetery here. It was called the Barrage Family Cemetery. Findagrave.com shows 6 burials here, the first being in 1841 and the final in 1887. I have been unable to get any information on what happened to it, if it was just left abandoned and it's still here, covered over possibly. Perhaps the bodies were disinterred and moved to another cemetery. Maybe someone in the Orion Township area knows of the local history of it, more so than what I've been able to uncover in my internet and historical research that I've done. I spent a lot of time searching the Lake Orion Library archives and the back issues of the Orion Review newspaper, seeing if I could find any mentions of it being moved or relocated, but got nowhere. So if anybody knows for sure and could leave a comment, that would be very helpful. Now, if we look at the map, those 40-acre plots on Scripps Road are 640 feet wide, and the 80-acre plots, they're 80 long, so those are 640 feet wide too. That would put the Barrage farmhouse about 200 yards east of the railroad tracks, and the cemetery about 300 yards east. Walking around a little bit here, I did find a row of fence posts. Let's get a little closer here. Yes, indeed. Here's some fence posts right here. You see there, and then some more over here. And one laying on the ground up there. Now, I have no idea if these would date back to the 1870s. It's hard to imagine they would still be here like this after all that time, but I suppose it's possible. There's also a debris field here. You can see by the cement and brickwork underneath the ground on top and piles of blocks. So, we're onto something here with some sort of structure that was, if not right here, it was certainly close to this area, which leads me to believe we're definitely in the right area for the old Barrage homestead. It seemed like they were a very prominent family. They owned a lot of land, and they got mentioned quite a bit in the Orion Review social pages and obituaries over the years. The original homesteader who came from England had two sons, one who took over the farm here, and another one who left to go to Dryden and was president of the Dryden Bank for almost 30 years before moving back to Lake Orion and retiring in this house here on the lake on Clarkston Road. The family also had ties to the Porritt family and the Carpenter family, local farmers and landowners whose names are probably familiar to most Lake Orion people.
Not singers?
So if anyone has some stories about this family or the descendants they'd like to share, please leave comments, and
We need their help.
Maybe someday we can get back here and do a more in-depth story about the land and how it came to be under ownership of the Department of Natural Resources. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And get out here and enjoy nature. This is a great resource for the community. All this parkland available to roam around and enjoy. And it's good to come out and take advantage of it and support the state park system.